Calmness is a journey. Expect to have arrived at it many times, but never expect to have experienced it in its totality. It's like a place that you go back to, a meadow or a forest, somewhere peaceful, somewhere that's natural, somewhere that's away from people, but you don't feel alone. It's a place like that. And every time you go there, you notice a few more details about the trees, the leaves, the texture of the leaves, how the roots pop out of the ground, the texture of the bark, how many trees there are, the spacing between them, the blades of grass, the flowers, what kinds of flowers there are. You learn a little bit more about calmness every time you go back to that place, every time you find yourself back there. The first times we are calm, we probably don't bring ourselves there. We probably happen upon this place, and we're not really sure how we got there. We're not really, all the first times, we're not really sure how we got there. We're not really sure what it is compared to other things, because a lot of the time, the first times we experience calmness, not necessarily meditative calmness, but that is definitely an enhancer for taking in the details of this space. But as a child, when everything's just right and you're calm, not excited, but not sad and not sleepy, but just even. We're just there. And you'll notice that there's the reason I compare it to kind of an exterior place, or describe it as being as diverse as a meadow or a forest, is that everything looks different when you're calm, when you've reached a state of calmness. Everything feels different. You understand things differently. It's almost like you're in a whole new world. You're in the same world that you usually are, except everything looks and feels differently. And you understand things in a more natural, orderly, and personally kind way to yourself and to the world. Knowledge is always there. Calmness is always there. Higher levels of understanding are always there. We just have to attune ourselves to them. The knowledge about anything that you want to know about, or the experiences that you want to have, all of that's always there. Exterior things spark it within us, but everything that happens that's good in our lives, it's all happening in here, based on what we see and how we see it. Nothing happens externally to necessarily, by force, create something within our head, at least if it's not intruding physically into our brains. It's all interactions within our mind, the synapses, the neurons, all the little dendrites, axons, and the electrical surges, and our choices for how we direct our brain chemistry and those electrical surges. We have choice within ourselves. We have choice in how we react to our external environment, how we understand things, how we see things, what we hope for, and what we fear, what we're anxious about on a regular basis, and what we're happy about on a regular basis. We think that something like a good meal, or a cigarette, or a good drink, or a nice smelling flower, or a pretty painting, we think that these things are required for that feeling, but they are not. We experience them more fully and experience thus the good side of them when we are coming from a place of calmness, even if we're excited. Because at the heart of excitement, if it's positive excitement, is a core of calmness. It's that place that we go back to, and everything, because we take in the detail of what we enjoy so much more, because internally we've made a choice that we're enjoying it. And it might be enjoyable to humans in general, but we've made a choice within ourselves to enjoy this external thing, and it might do something to our brain chemistry. A cigarette might, you might get nicotine, you might get the little bit of a high from the tobacco, or a good meal, you're having all those flavors you love and like. But our decisions on how we enjoy them affect the amount we experience them, how much we experience it. We experience them more fully. When we're afraid, when we're anxious, when we worry, we are far away from that place of calmness, and all of our focus is through a lens of negative imagining, a much smokier, a much more cracked lens that doesn't convey possibilities in a way that aligns with that inner core of calmness with which we react to positive, what we view as positive things externally, and how they affect our brain chemistry. All this to say that calmness is extremely important, but it's also a big part of calmness is choice. Before we can choose to be calm, however, we have to develop the ability to, sometimes people can just naturally do this, but for most of us, we have to develop the ability to be calm, to put aside things, to put aside worries, to put aside fears, and experience things from that center of calmness. And it makes life more enjoyable, much easier to take in. All the things that bother us seem much more trivial when we're operating from that center of calmness. There's a lot of methods to help you be calm. Focus on your breath, breathe in and out deeply. You can also choose to willfully clear your mind. And that might be easier said than done for most people. Meditation helps. But a simple mantra for calmness, if you put your hands together, close your eyes, and internally or externally say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. For as long as you need to. Saying it, doing it externally gives you the ability to produce a sound and thus affect basically the liquid in your system. The water in your system vibrates with Om and Shanti, especially Om. Throwing that in there for most mantras is extremely effective because Om encompasses all. It is the canvas. It touches the canvas upon which all things are animated, are drawn, or become. But Shanti, in Sanskrit, means peace. So you're saying Om. Om can be, in a way, all, but all in a sense of unity, oneness, and evenness and balance. So Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So you're saying Om, peace, peace, peace. And if you know breath exercises, those help a lot too. And so does meditation a lot too. But I've talked about that ad nauseum. Think of calmness as this place that I was talking about. You can imagine it. What does your calm place look like? What does it feel like? What gives you a sense of balance and strength in your chest, in your heart? What images or what feelings? What connects you to that strength in your heart and that balance in your heart that makes you feel whole again, that makes you feel one, that makes you feel even, not agitated, not choppy waves, but calm sea? What makes you feel that? There is probably a secret there for you, an understanding, a realization there for you of what calms you and why it calms you. What is the nature of this thing or this space within yourself that brings you calmness? If you've never thought of it that way, then think of it that way. Try to find that space and picture that space within your chest and your heart. And picture that space right there. You can even say Om Shanti 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 Om while you're picturing that space. But this should be a space that you carry with you all the time. And it should fill you with a kind of strength, a kind of confidence, at least a little bit. Over time, the more you think about this, the more you think about calmness, the more you picture that space in your heart within and test it in times of trial, of turbulent times. Test it again and again and try again and again. you'll start to understand that part of yourself at your best, and it will improve you spiritually and emotionally. Calmness is a place you can return to it by choice and by external effort, but never think that you've experienced all of calmness. There's always calmer and calmer. There's always a better and better you, a better and better sense of self. Think about calmness in this way. Think about that as your best self. And in time, you will find your way back to that place that is calmness. Thank you very much for watching. Like this video, feel free to leave a comment, that helps the channel, and share this video wherever you like. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day.